for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
Oh boy, we had some storms, right? We had some flash flooding. We've had high temperatures. What didn't we have today?
He said, oh boy, Alana, I think that sums it up.
Somebody voted for monsoon moisture, and it came through. Let me tell you, those storms in southern Utah definitely moving through. Oh boy, boy howdy, no matter how you put it, it was one of those days where you had to have your eyes to the skies, and we're not finished with that. Started really nice, though. Thank you, Brody, for sharing this one. Brody Winder from Saratoga Springs, sun coming up. Seemed like a really nice day. Now, we had hazy conditions in northern Utah, smoke-filled skies the further north you went, but it was storms and a severe thunderstorm that rolled through Iron County. Our time-lapse video from the Cedar City Airport catches that one severe storm that we had about 4:45 through about 5 o'clock. But look at that downpour. They had heavy rain. It pulled over the interstate, and strong winds as well as quarter-sized hail moved through at that one. Zion National Park also had that flash flood warning. And we're not done. Tonight, we still have storms out there. Watching the West Desert because, yeah, it looks like towards Dugway, we can maybe get some echoes of moisture, some gusty winds there. That moisture, though, really moved into the southern portion of the state where the south central mountains still have active skies, some showers towards Moab and the Four Corners. What we're watching right now, we get a little closer because what we're seeing towards Caliente and Lincoln, Nevada, stronger storms with lightning, those are pushing into Utah. Enterprise, which is right on the Washington and Iron County line, that's continuing to track towards Cedar City, so we could get around here of another stretch of wet weather as we head through the overnight. But eventually, this is going to taper, folks. We know that the storms come through this time of year. Monsoon season always delivers. Well, typically delivers, and then you get a nice rainbow in the mix. Judy sent this one from Kanab. She said they've had a series of storms come through this evening, but that was such a great catch. In northern Utah, we were dry, but the smoke has been something we've been dealing with for days. Scott Taylor catching this great video, which is great because you get to actually see those smoke-filled skies along the Salt Lake City skyline here. I can say, well, we have a little progress when it comes to the smoke. This southerly flow, this push of moisture in southern Utah has brought in some mixing. We still have thicker plumes of smoke, but as we head towards the end of the work week, less smoke is expected. Doesn't look like it here. As we look at our futurecast smoke model, getting through the next several hours, you see those thicker plumes, Cache Valley, West Desert, and along the Wasatch Front as we get through the next little bit. But into tomorrow, we're going to push some of that smoke to the north and clear our region. First time in a few days that we actually see moderate air popping up in a majority of the counties in northern Utah. Unhealthy air in Davis and Salt Lake County for sensitive groups. So if you have respiratory issues, you've been battling it. I know asthmatic, COPD, a lot of folks feel that smoke, but there's going to be less of it tomorrow. Now down south with our storms, we get enough mixing that green is in the forecast. Green means clean, and we love to see that in the southwestern corner of the state. As we take a look at that time-lapse video coming out of our black desert sky cam, it's a pretty shot, but it just indicates the moisture that has moved into southern Utah with all of that cloud cover over Ivins. They topped out at 103 today, 100 in St. George, a lot of 90s with the cloud cover in the southern half of the state, 100 in Moab. 98 in Salt Lake. 94 is our average, so we were above that, and we were dry. That's going to start to change. Heading into the overnight, we'll see those temperatures dropping to the 80s with our smoke-filled skies by the time we wrap ABC4 News at 10. Mid-70s, low 70s along the Wasatch Front, and then we're off to the races tomorrow. A little more cloud cover, especially into central Utah. The Wasatch Front will start with those 80s. Okay, scattered storms are still in the mix here. We still have our high-pressure ridge over towards the Four Corners, but a low is increasing the amount of moisture, which creeps a little further north as we head into our Friday. Futurecast times out the storms for you. Notice the southern portion of the state stays active tonight. We'll start to see things quieting. Here we are by 1 a.m. Southeastern Utah and the Four Corners holding on to those showers. By 8 a.m., fairly quiet, but we're back at it again by the afternoon with that monsoon moisture and the threat of storms a little further north into Castle Country and central Utah. We repeat that into Saturday, and monsoon moisture actually holds on through the weekend and into early next week. Probable flash flooding for all of the locations we love to visit tomorrow. Know before you go, and just don't go. There's that high. What you're going to see as we put this into motion is there's a low south of it, so we're dragging some of that moisture into the state. Also keeping our eye on the Pacific Northwest in the long range here. That could bring storms to northern Utah. That high pressure kind of hangs out towards the Four Corners, very typical for Utah when it comes to our monsoon season. And then that trough could move inland, ease our temperatures, and bring the chance of storms to the north. So that's kind of the big picture view if you're making plans. 90s for tomorrow, high 90s in Salt Lake, 97 in Moab, 103 in St. George, where scattered storms stick around for the weekend, becoming more isolated. Don't get any dry air until about midweek. Here's the Wasatch Front, smoke-filled skies to close out the work week, and then moisture eventually makes it into northern Utah. We're going to see that latter half of the weekend. Best chance to see scattered thunderstorms will be Monday. Isolated potential, temperatures ease a little bit. Hey, guess what I didn't say? Record-breaking heat.
Hey.
That's a win.
That's a huge win tonight.